Morning, Flo. Hi, Georgie. How you doing, guys? I had an absolute nightmare getting on then. You just kept saying wrong stream key. It definitely wasn't the wrong stream key. Let's hope it's all working. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. Okie dokie. I'm not muted. I am not muted. Can you not hear me? How are we doing? How's the sound? Can you hear me? Okay, how's that? Any better? This is what happens when I go away and leave Zoo messing with computers. Any better now? My mic is on pretty loud. Morning, Ben. Can you hear me? Just because you're new, and you might be able to tell me if the sound's complete shite as well. Okay. You can hear me fine. That's good. Loud and clear. Morning, everyone. How are we doing? Right, I'm going to be a little single-minded today. Not going to spend loads of time on here, but I do want to come on and talk about big money, because obviously since last week we've had a few days to digest, to look at the questions that we've been getting in the Discord. I think it's really important. As you always know, we do try and use your feedback as much as possible to make things better. And to be honest with you, it's one of the reasons big money even exists, is because it was what you were looking for. We had entries, but alpha zones, people are still finding a little difficult. So, right, let's just have a little look here. I was not ready. Right, I'm just going to jump on big money. Where are we time-wise? Yeah, we're here. That's fine. Okay. So we've got our New York high. Has it opened? And we're down here. And I missed it. Messing around with the fucking microphone. Okay, so look. First one. One of the questions, and I'm doing a video on this week. So there you go. I've moved my chart to the left. Morning, Peter. Right, so one of the questions I'm getting asked is how we trading it. I am always conscious whenever we introduce anything that is slightly different, is that we don't want to be making a sidestep from what we do. However, as I just said, almost everything that we've ever built has been on the basis of maybe where we find things that actually within what we're trading, we're finding areas where are still problems or difficulties, or maybe we don't find as easy. Like, is the setup as easy to spot? Can somebody do it on their mobile phone? Can they do it when they're working and getting distracted? I'm not saying that that's exactly how you should be trading. However, because this is all educational content and you should not be copying any trades I'm taking, honest. It's by law, I have to say so. But the important thing is that we are trying to adapt to the things that you're looking for. And one of the things that people are looking for was the Alpha Zone strategy has quite a lot of the time, unless you are really good at, unless you can manage trades and manage risk well and trail your trades well. A lot of people find that system is best for base hits, and that's obviously down to me as well. That's how I've been promoting it. But that has its drawbacks. So we've tried to introduce this to try and give you a little bit more in regards to structure rather than ambiguity, and allow you to look where longer trades would be, how you can hold those trades, how you can get bigger R. Be under no illusion, guys. You're not going to get the same win rate on a high R strategy. It's just a fact. So you can go and take base hits on TP1s and go and get 0.3R, 0.5R, 10 points, 20 points, however you want to do it, and get a really, really high win rate, usually 80 to 90% on that. And if you want to trade that way, that is what Alpha Zones and Golden Candles can do for you. Is that a good strategy? Yes, it is, and it works. I've got many people doing it. Have I taken any of these yet? No, I haven't taken any of these yet. Nope. I haven't, Kevin. However, what we're trying to do with this is to give a structure to get some higher R trades for people who want to come in, set an alert, get to a certain area, take a trade, and take 2R, 3R, and be done for the day. So that is what we're trying to give you with big money. Can you trade them both together? Absolutely. Would I advise it if you're new and wanting to? No, I wouldn't try and use Alpha Zones, and if you're not experienced, Alpha Zones and the big money zones can be quite confusing, and I can see that some people are finding that a little bit confusing anyway, from the feedback in the Discord. So that's my honest assessment of what you guys are telling me, which I appreciate and I take on board. But big money zones are absolutely superb, I can assure you. So let's just have a little look here, what we are looking for. So just marking on, we're just going from our low here up to our high. We could be looking. Little tip. So in fact, I'm going to just backtrack a minute. So before we go into it anymore, obviously, can you look at 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, hourlies, higher time frame areas, and trade out of them? Yes. Should you when you're more experienced? Absolutely. The first and foremost way I would be looking to trade this is on the 1 minute and the 1 minute purely, until you get used to it, because that way you can get plenty of decent R trades, and you can do them in a fashion that you can dip in, take a couple of trades, and be done for the day. You don't need to be looking for a million different confluences. We're just looking for areas, and I want to give some simple rules on that. I've also built something else which is going to help. So for those of you who have been trading Alpha Zones, you'll know that one of the things that I built with this was the trend traffic lights, to help and support for your understanding when you're taking a trade. So we have built traffic lights for big money. Big money traffic lights. Easy name. Yeah, the big money traffic lights. No, Zoo is not here today. He may come back before I'm done, but he has gone to the dentist with his lovely children. So he was here up until about 5-10 minutes ago. About 10 minutes ago, just before I went live. But big money zones, so we've introduced, and we will pop this in the WAP as soon as WAP have their integration back with TradingView. They've been a pain in the ass for 5 days, hence the reason why you've all had to have a link for big money rather than having the actual integration in WAP. This is down to WAP's integration, so I apologize for the delay there. Just look at this rejections out of this area. It's fucking beautiful. So yes, so we've introduced our big money traffic lights. Squeeze this along here, you'll see big money traffic lights here. I've tried to keep this as simple as possible, and when I say simple as possible, I mean there's two, dead easy, two traffic lights, and you want them to align. That's it. You don't need to know anything more about them, how they work, or anything like that. But if you're looking for a bullish trade, you want two traffic lights. If you want bearish trades, you want two red traffic lights. It's as simple as that. There is multiple different confluences built in, but what we're finding is that actually, if you go on to trends, look at this area here. Let's just zoom out. This area on the way down from yesterday, overnight on Nasdaq. We're getting areas, well, because if we pop these on, you will see there's areas here, just like we're here. Let's move to here. When we're getting a tap into an area, as there's an area here, there's an area here, we get a tap into an area, we get a break, and our traffic lights are red. And we're looking for either stop loss, variable, you trade this how you want to trade it. You want to be looking for a minimum of 1R. Minimum 1R. And then manage to trade accordingly how you want to do it, whether you want to take 50% off, you want to go break even, 1R, you want to not take any off and try and go break even and go for 2Rs. But as you will see, when they align and you tap into an area, tap up into an area, you get a break candle, we got the red traffic lights, it will run. That alone, if we're just talking about, I would still use a stop order. In my personal opinion, Zoo is using limit orders as well when it's tapping into an area. It's a little bit more advanced, and it does work beautifully. But in regards to how we're just going to talk on the live for now, until I haven't been trading it with limit orders, so I don't want to start talking about it and giving you information that I'm not doing. But yeah, so straight away, there's 2R on that one. 1 minute. So, let's have a look. We just work our way down. And just as the traffic lights align, we get a tap up. Come here, because I've already drawn these ones on. We get a tap up, we get a break. Red traffic lights, we got to tap up into a zone. As soon as we get a break, our traffic lights are red. All these trades comfortably getting 2R, but even just on the first run down before it has a pullback, 1R, no problem. Tap up into an area, three traffic lights, 2 traffic lights, I'll get used to it. It runs. Tap up into an area, wait for the break, it runs. Tap up into an area, wait for the break, it runs. And then you start to get this change. So yes, you're missing out on this. It's the first one. And we're waiting for these to align. We're getting a bit of choppiness. That's why this hasn't aligned yet. And then we start to move. The higher time frame falls in line. Let's just pop on. They won't be far away. Okay, so we've got our first big sweep. There's our first impulse on the zone. So quick tip. On the 1 minute, when you're looking at these larger moves up, and you're going to get, what do you think is going to happen on a large move? If this large move here is going to create this big money zone here, the likeliness is usually after that big move, we're probably not going to come all the way back down to that area. It's probably not going to do that. Let's mark it on. I'm just going to mark this one on. Template, big money bias, there we go. So on the way up, what else would we be looking for? So where could it pull back to? What area would it be looking to then go and take my trade from? So on this way up, when it's got such conviction, I can see this doji candle here. So you've got looking for pullbacks on the way up. Before that even, you got this one pull back here. So this is where, okay, it's not giving me anything yet. It's breaking through, it's closing below. I'm still being a little bit careful because the conviction of the return from this isn't there yet. So this could still be holding on these, look at this wick up here, could be holding on this area. You've still got this big money seller areas on that could be inverted on the other side and be holding. So you want to be a little bit careful until we get a hold of, we've had no big hold of a big money of a buyer area yet. So I'm waiting before I take buys. I'm gonna get my next one. Okay, so my next one comes down, we go up, and as we're coming back down, we get that break. Even if you're looking wherever that high is, as you get a little pullback here, but as that is a definitive impulse here, you've had a definitive impulse up, definitive impulse down, and as you get this one up again, you know, okay, it started to get this push back. If that's my low, if that's my high there, that's my low, then this is my area. What am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for entries from here now because it's holding this buyer zone, and because it's holding this buyer zone, I'd be looking for, now that we're holding, I'd be looking to take buy signals, break candles and buy signals. It's a comfortable 1R. Comes down. Does that tap my ear? Might actually be a loss, that one. Yeah, if you're just below, you might lose that one. If you get tapped, you get your next one below your low. And that one goes on to win. Am I on the high there? I'm losing my mind. Don't know why it's not. There we go. Should be a bit better. Yeah, it's better. Wonder why it wasn't connecting to everything, making me look stupid. Okay, yeah, so over 1R there on the trade. It's come down, it's tapped the same area again. Looking to get myself a minimum 1R. It's 1.38 there. Come down. We don't reach it here. We don't tap in to take this. We tap in here. We get a break. We're below, and away it goes again. Does that make sense? And I'm putting this out to you guys because I am very conscious that within the videos offer some unbelievable explanation about the theorem behind this and why it's been built in the way it's been built and why it works. However, the simplicity of taking it from a trade-to-trade perspective, I appreciate sometimes gets lost in translation. Is it possible to add break candles to the risk calculator for this? That is a great question. So what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to build a slightly more extensive, and I'm doing this as we speak, a slightly more extensive version of the calculator, where you can, where you'll be able to flip to a manual version. So as you come down into the area and you're looking for a break, you can pop on your break candle. It will be on each break candle. As you get your break candle here, it will put on the stop loss and entry point, and all you'll need to do is you'll be able to drag your stop loss, and then in the calculator it will tell you what your risk is. Obviously, and the reason we're doing it that way is because each individual trade is going to have a different stop loss, because you're going to vary it, rather than previously with golden candles and alpha zones you would just be looking for a stop below that candle. That would not be the case with if you're doing a big money entry. Does that make sense? I am open to questions here, guys, so please feel free to jump in while I just check this. What dates do we have to put in the big money settings? It's not working for me despite I've seen the tutorial. So the dates that all you need to put in is, you just make sure you're on, if you're looking at today. So here I'm on 20th of January, 7:23 in New York, so 20th. If I just go to 7 o'clock, I see my line start there, and I'm going to do that one for 7:15, line pop there. And then you just make sure that B here, you see the B line, if you can see that. Nope, you can't see that. I'm going to zoom in a bit and move out, and I'll move this here. So you see the B line always after the first line, B is always second, and then you just mark them up, just drag them to the low and to the high as they are, and you'll get your lines there. Does that make sense? Any more questions on that, guys? I'm going to sit and mark up some zones, but I'd love your questions on it. I want you to feel easy with it. Where's price going to go? Obviously, we know here this is a bit choppy after New York, and always going to get a bit of this. 1 minute. Move the time along, let's get it in view. So pop this one 9:45 so you can see it. So you just see what I'm doing. And to 10 o'clock, so we've got our lines there. Okay, so we've got just before New York. And then we've got the first high that was put in. So big money buyers. So we've got a tap out of there. and up. That's still in. So that would have been, if we'd have played this one. Morning, Dean. How you doing, buddy? So yeah, so if I've got a stop order on this one, and I'm looking to go over here, well, have I got to 1R? It's 1.7R there. No, it's not 1.7R. Where's my low? There's my low. Okay, so it's still in. It's got to 0.8. Making numbers up. Yeah, and again, tap in. Now, obviously, first little bit of New York here is always going to be a little bit more volatile, so I'll be a little bit more careful. Be going BE quicker. But the idea being is that we're just looking to we come down and back up. So it's tapped into here. So I don't want to muddy the chart here, but let's just be clear on what it's doing. There's our zone at the minute, based on this push up, and then on this area it's broken this here, so it's whether or not it holds this one, or is it just going to give us another tap into here. We're not looking to take every single move. We're looking to take, in an ideal world, you want to take the move that comes out of your one big sweep. But if you want to trade through more of them, okay, it's not on there yet, it's fine. If you want to trade through more of them, then you can. So we're getting a break and a golden candle sell signal. We've got room down to our 200. If I was going to get a rejection off our 200, I'll say off our 200, by our 200 in our big money zone, then this is where we'd be looking for it. Now, obviously with New York, we have took London high. Whether or not it's going to do that and then come down for London low, we'll have to wait and see. But there's not a huge amount of movement from where we've been. But if we're going to get a tap in, this would be it. So let's just going to move them there. So let's see. Actually, do you know what, mate? It is on one. And because I've just started this chart for you guys, I do actually use two, not one. However, let me just see. Well, great question, Mr. Pickles. Great question. See the difference between 1 and 2 on this. So, yeah, it broke through there. Where's my previous one? Oh, so it's still, okay. So on 2, it's still tapping my area. I like 2 more. I like 2 more a lot. 1 is a bit more generalized, a bit more forgiving on the area. This is a bit tighter. So you must have come on late. So The traffic lights, what you won't be able to see, as I did squeeze across 1 minute. The traffic lights are the big money traffic lights. They are not the trend traffic lights. Trend traffic lights are for alpha zones, and so this is a separate indicator. It's for all you've got alpha zones anyway. I'm just putting it in there, so it'll be in the. It's in Max Premium, but everyone who's already paid will already get it anyway. It's just going to be in there. I just can't add it to WAP yet because I'm waiting for WAP's update on the. Yeah, you should be. You'll be able to download it straight from there, but it's very, very simple. It's just the two, and you just want them both to be green. They are based on different things. I'm not going to go into what. Not after the last guy who's tried to copy everything I've done. However, the reason we haven't just put them in one is because you will start to see that change. You want to see a change. It gives it strength. Yeah, I'm very conscious. I don't really want. I've been conscious of this since we started talking about this in the alpha zones and big money. You can trade them both together, but if you are struggling with alpha zones and golden candle because of the negative R strategy, then this at least allows you to have a strategy that is still give you a high number of trades, but with more opportunity for bigger R, rather than some, because obviously because of the way price moves and sometimes the volatility with New York, some trades can be worth 0.7, some trades can be worth 0.3 on R, and that can be a killer for people, and we understand that, and that's like, I don't mind taking a hit on a trade, but you have to be able to manage your losses really well with that. Whereas if you're going to look for a minimum 1R strategy, then it just allows you to know the number of trades you can take and manage that better. So that's why we've done it that way for you guys. So yes, different tools for different strategy. Does that mean I'm not going to look at alpha zones? Does that mean alpha zones is not going to be part of what I'm doing? No, it doesn't, because I understand it and built it. However, it doesn't mean that I'm solely going to trade alpha zones. I'm trying to give people a strategy that works best for them. And from all the feedback over the last sort of 9 months, 12 months, where the fuck have I put that charger? The feedback has always been that people wanted to be able to take bigger R and weren't a big fan of negative R trades. Trying to give you and promote something that I think will benefit all you traders who want that kind of strategy. However, that does not mean that anything else with golden candles and alpha zones does not work, because obviously it does, as we've all seen. Cheers, who tried to copy me? Oh, I don't even want to talk about him. Yes, Q's still relevant. Q's still relevant, of course it is. It's the Q's absolutely still relevant. 1 minute. We've got our Q here. Would I want to take a trade directly into a Q? No, I wouldn't. So absolutely the Q is still relevant. But what I'm not doing is sitting on my sitting and trading with and trading the alpha zones like I was before. I'm trying to show you the way to trade with the big money zones where price is going with, to try and give you opportunity for trades that are bigger rather than base hits. Do you need to be precise with the lining up of the lows and the highs? Great question. So just let's have a little look at that. So you'll see here I'm looking at this low to this high. Well, there is only, if I go to this one because it's slightly lower, there is only a slight bit of movement on the box. because it takes into account not just A and B, it's A, B, and C. So it actually takes the impulse of the move into account, not just, it's not like Fibonacci where it's just looking at 2 points. Beautiful TJW, beautiful, good trades. So yeah, so it's no, I haven't given A plus setup in rules. I'm gonna put a setup video out, and I'm gonna put a document now. The A plus, like the A plus is a lot simpler with this, because if you're just, and that, I'm gonna try and word this carefully. If you're trading big money, if alpha zones isn't the core bit of your the alpha zones, not the signals, isn't the core bit of your trading, and the big money is, then this is very, very simple. I.e., you're looking for your traffic lights to be green, you want to tap into an area, and you want to break. And that's, are there other things that you can take into account? Yes, can you look at the 5 minute, and do you want to be careful if you're going to a 5 minute above? Yes, you want to be careful. Do you want to be careful on where you take profit if, for instance, let me just, on where maybe you might have an area that you might hit. So you come down, where you might hit. Well, actually on this low, we bang into this area here. So it's, there are different connotations that you might want to take into account, but in regards to looking for an entry, it's pretty straightforward. It's all about managing. Well, what am I looking for? Am I looking for 1 hour? Am I looking to go B at 1 hour and look for 1.5? Am I taking 80% off at 1 hour and letting it run? You will see a lot of these when, just to give you an example. Good morning, degenerate trade. Good morning, Chris. Good morning. Welcome back. So look, this isn't chance, yeah? We are rejecting in this area here. If I take these off, like, I've got a previous hourly here from 2 hours ago. Could have some bearing. But other than that, I don't have any solid confluence from the alpha zones, which is like, right, okay, well, why would price be reactive from here? And that's part of why we built the theorem with this, is that this isn't chance. This isn't my opinion on sort of pools of money where institutions. This is just theorem. This is what we know that they do, and why that they manipulate price into a certain area. And when I say manipulate price, I mean they will sell into a certain order or certain amount of orders into a certain area to drive the price down there to be able to get the price here for the rest of it. So they will take the hit on this to get up there. That's just how it works. From all the work and research I've done, that's what I believe. But look, it's absolutely tapping. You want to get. Right now, I'm not looking for sellers if I'm trading big money. And we often get these guys, you know, when you're looking, we've looked at our sell signal on alpha zones, and we've looked and gone, okay, well, I've had a golden candle, I've had a sell signal below my hourly and below my 4 hour. I'm gonna look for TP1, TP2, and I'm try and get to a bit more than TP2, maybe a bit more, and try and get down to the Q. Why would it chop around here? Well, these are giving you context on the reason why. I have no idea what that noise is. That I do. That's somebody subscribed. Well done. Thank you very much. Didn't know it made noises. Gutted it didn't come up on the screen. Why didn't you come up on the screen? Should have had like a... Um, Yeah, I probably was halfway through. Apologies. Easily distracted. So I would say if you're looking from a high to a low and then you catch a high to here and maybe there's one that's a bit lower here or a bit lower here, you're not going to find that there is a massive difference from one candle to the next, from that high to that high. You will get some variation. I would still try and be precise to answer your question. However, when it comes to it's more about the precision is more about, okay, in this one impulse here, that's created this big area down here for me. Is that my one or is it there? But there is a midpoint in this impulse that could have a bearing on it, and it's here. Wonder if that's because I had it on one. Did it drop so much? No, it's higher up. Yeah, so it's not about the precision on a larger move. It's more looking for those idiosyncrasies within the move to say, okay, well, I've had a big move. Could it, if it was going to be a smaller pullback, where on that larger move would I be looking for that actually may give me my big money buyer zone to look at? And that here, you'd be like, okay, well, I'm more likely that it's gone up, it's come down, it's gone up, it's come down. So that there could be the down to that high. That could be where, which as you can see creates this zone here. It isn't going to make a huge amount of difference on one candle, but I would say if they are equal high, then I would use the later one with the equal high, the one closest to the current time. If it started to come down, and if it's like, say this is on the other side here, I would go with this. Like this is slightly higher, go with this. I'd always go to the high. If they're equal, then go to the one on the right. Because it's just mean that 1 minute move is really more of a 2 minute move over that period. So okay, let's have a look at where we are then. So we've had a move down and that choppiness. If we look at the whole impulse is here. If we look at the bit in between, here we've got a high to here. You see we've started to break through that sellers again. So our big money sellers have been broken. We have held on these big money buyers here beautifully, I might add. Didn't break below the area that we mentioned that I thought it would hold on. It's not even got down into this. Why? Because this is here, because this is what it created. As you can see, look, this was a little bit of a pullback here. I'm not saying that this is the exact move, but if you go from the low to there, it could create an area here because of this up, down, up. Even though we're looking at the highs going, That's where the impulse could have that little idiosyncratic move in between, if that makes sense. It's like, where was our last? We'd have broke through that one. Let me just have a look. Let's go backwards. Last big move up. Here, which we broke through. Tapped this, held. That across so I can see. So the low is there. Just make sure. So this could be an area for us to keep an eye on. But again, as you start to see here, getting this either push up and a pull back. Keep coming with the questions. I'm loving this. Much prefer the open dialogue. It's a lovely move up, just starting to get out of the chop, like, but so who's in the buy signal? Straight up to a queue above us. We got Asia high and into our weekly. So we're slowly moving up. So I'm just keeping an eye for when this starts to, so if we keep making more highs, I'll just keep moving this along, just keep an eye on where this will be. That's my first move, that's my first big money bias box, and then we're in this move up. Right, so while that's, I've got that chart up next to me, but let's just have a little, so we're going through. I've done this on the way down, but you can quite comfortably, oh, where's my traffic lights gone? There they are. Having a little look at our zones on the way up, as we mentioned. This area from the bottom before this opened at 7 o'clock. Just looking at on the way up, where are we creating? It's got our low to our high, creating our zone. Wowzers. Forget the magnet messes with me boxes. So look, let's just be clear. These are not by chance. So our big money buyer zone. Let's move up here. We tap in. We get a break candle. We got a +1 hour trade. Well, you might have lost this one here. Tap in. Comes up. Goes below. So there's a loss. Tap back into this area. Got a break candle, stop below. That one goes on to win. Tap in again. Stop below. Goes on to win. Let's look at where our areas are holding to. So there's our low, there's our high. You see the bottom of this is here. It's tapped into the one below. It's gone through this. Beautiful. Let's look at the bigger move. The bigger impulse here. It's here. Gives us an area. Taps us in. Tap in here. Break candle. A little bit further away. Might not want to take that one, but still goes on to win. We've gone down here where we've tapped in. There's our low to our high. Again, marked as an area. Tap in and go. Tap in and go. It's yes, Ben. To answer your question, sorry, I was engrossed in my chart there. To answer your question, yes, I am using this as a very simple confluence, and that's why I built them in that way. The one bit I've seen everyone talking about in the Discord this weekend and yesterday is the playbook. I want to try and keep this as simple. In regards to the simple element, yes, you're looking for a tap into an area. You're looking for 2 candles to align, 2 green for bullish, 2 red for bearish, and you're looking for a signal, a golden candle or a break candle or a buy signal or a sell signal, and that's what you're looking for. You want to be looking to try and get a minimum 1 hour out of every trade, and you want to look to be trying to, on most trades where you've got room, you're going to be looking to get more than 1 hour and manage those trades, whether it be taking 50% off, taking 80% off, going BE, however you want to do it. When do I mark the next swing? At what point is the new high a high? So you can do this with the market structure elements of it. However, if you want to keep this nice and simple, well, it's when you're getting a pullback. So let me just move this here. What time are we on? We're at 10 o'clock, aren't we? So if I go to 10 o'clock, put my line in, and it's 10:15. So I've got these here. So as I was just saying, Mark, on the way up here now, we put in a low here, and I said, well, this could be a pullback, but this is left as a box right down here. Just move it so it's in line with my 2 setting, as you quite rightly pointed out. And from that pullback there, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to follow it up until I start to see a significant... I don't know why it's pissing around me 1 minute. So there's where I marked a pullback. So I'm looking for, obviously you're looking for a break. So for it to break, it needs to come down. So if I'm looking for a break candle to the upside for it to tap in, well, for you to know when, for you to say, well, actually, how do I know where this high is? Well, you'll know the high because you'll have got a breakdown. For you to then go and get a break up, you had to have had a breakdown here, and then from there, if we go the other way, how do I know that this is going to be the high? Well, I've got a break candle here. It's lower, I've got a break candle, I've had a high. Now, it doesn't always have to be a break candle in regards to, but if you're looking for, say here, I'm looking for a tap back in. So it's not just about what is the high, it's like, okay, what is the high and where could it be going? So yes, this isn't a break candle back, but it is obviously a pull back in this direction a little bit. It's like, well, that is an inner impulse of what may be a larger impulse, and obviously at that point you don't know any of this here, but all you do know is that actually it's pulled here. So do you know what, I'll have a look at that and I'll mark this on as an area of interest. It carries on, well, I know I'm just going to follow my impulse up here, but realistically, if my low is still down here, then my entry, my big money buyer area is still going to stay down here as well. So if I was marking that area, then I'm going to go with that area. So I'm going to go, okay, well, that's there. Now you can see, if I give you an example of it, what is that, 10:21? If I went down to the 15 seconds, you would see these moves within it. So 10:21. So there's the move, there's the move, there's the move, there's the move. So If you wanted to look within your time period, it's like, well, there's my low, there's my high, we're going to pull in, it pulls properly back. So that is the highest point there before we get this pull back, and there's my box. So there's no that's the same as what we were just talking about in that move. I then get a push up, and I'm going with this low and this high. Now this is only from 10:24, nearly 10:24, nearly 10:25 until 10:26. So it's only a candle and a half on that time frame, and it's giving me this area. So I'm looking for, there's a push up, and a push down. It's a little bit more choppy here, but it's like, what are my areas? But on the 1 minute, it's only there. So look, that's where they were. If you wanted to sit there and look at, I'm not telling everyone to go down to the 15-second chart, but I'm trying to teach you how it's fractal. So if I'm seeing these pullbacks within here, that might be what I'm looking for. Is that, okay, well, it could pull back into here. If I got a pull back into here and then a break, then I'd be interested. I'm looking for, when it comes to, I don't have to have a break candle for it to create an area for me, but I would need a break candle for an entry. So I'm not going to get a break candle until I've had a significant pullback. But that doesn't mean that it's always going to pull back into the like, that's a full impulse. You know what I mean? It's like we've had these little waves in between it, but realistically there's one full impulse there, and that's an area of interest. But we both know that actually we've just seen that and that there showed that that was a pullback into here, and then up, and then we're going to pull back into here, and then up. So these moves, even though they are more difficult to read on this 1 minute time frame, if I mark that on there and go down to the 15-second, there's my area, and then marking up that area went from on here, it's down here, but if I mark it there, you can't see my 15-second box because it's gone down below the 1 minute. You can't see the box. 1 minute. So the box starts at 365.50 to 356. 356 to 365. So it was here to 365. So it's there. It's almost identical. Yeah, so it's here. So there's the box on the 1 minute from that move. And if I go back to the 1 minute, let me just confirm what my timing was. It was 10:30 to 10:35. There you go, 10:30, 10:35. I'm just gonna, when it gets a pullback, because I had a pullback in there, and there's my high, and it taps in. So it's almost identical there on that area. So it's the same as if you were trading on the 5 minute. Your areas are going to be different. Scared the crap out of me. Scared the shit. Live on camera as well. Scared the shit out of me. Fuck. Can't believe you did that live. Got to be live. Well done. For those of you who don't know, I am the jumpiest person in the world. I'm not scared of many things, but you've only got to step around the corner when I'm not expecting you, and I'm going to leap off the floor. So yeah, as you will have just seen. Can't believe you got me live as well. Live. You
what a training.
fucking bastard. We've just been going extensively over.
10:30, swing high to swing low, A to B. Traffic lights are bullish.
Traffic lights are bullish.
We're looking for longs. Audis are stepping up.
So on the 5 minutes, what we were just talking about there, you're looking at. Let me get my lines. So our low, there's our high, puts in our 5 minute here, you get your rejection, break candle up, but they're all, it's all following the same areas as what we've already put in. Every one. But the point being is, it is completely fractal, and on that whole point, that whole move up there on the 1 minute, and that's what I'm saying, I'm not telling anyone to go down to a 15-second chart to start trading off the 15-second. What I am saying is that there is every opportunity to look in a move like this. Oh, we've had a big push up, when am I going to get a trade? Well, I'm not going to get a trade. Well, maybe not in your eyes. However, you will see that that actually goes up and then down, and then up and then down, and then up and then down. So there is movement in that, and that internal order flow on the lower time frame gave us those particular areas to say, right, well, where would I be looking for? It taps in, it goes, taps in, it goes. So yes, we're not getting an entry on that, but the entry of a tap out of this 1021 candle.
Oh, look at those highs. What have we got above? Because we're in a perfect.
Weekly.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, is it not going to go for it?
We've got a Q and a weekly sat right here.
Right, we've just broken buys. So maybe going for a deeper. But don't worry about that, because we just focus on, we don't want to trade up there. But
He said he didn't jump too. I haven't jumped too much. He's just been rewinding to check.
no,
Brilliant.
I could have done it worse, and he would have. But I was being fairly gentle, to be honest. I stood there for a while watching him, thinking, how badly should I do this?
Oh, there's one video, guys, when my eldest boy was about 3 years old, maybe 3.5, and the back of our living room is they've got all curtains that cover the like the patio open doors, and he's snuck around the back of my house and stood behind the curtains, just stood in front of the glass, and my wife, who was in cahoots with him, got me to open the curtains and was filming at the time, and I left the floor. That is one of the worst videos of me. I've never heard a scream like a 7-year-old girl in my life.
You almost cried. You were shaking your hands and everything.
Oh. One day I will show you guys. One day I will just put it on here and you can have a look. It's pretty bad, like. Yeah. Okay, so what are we looking for? So let me just... So we're bouncing off. This is why when you asked the question before, Mark, about the Q, yes, Q is still important. Look at this. We're into that weekly. What would I be wary of? Yes, it's taking these confluences and taking our knowledge. No system is going to get rid of knowledge as a deciding factor. You're all going to need it, and we all use it when it comes to trading. So I can't make it all perfect for everyone. There we go. Got my lines crossed. But I can give you plenty of info that will give you confidence on whether you should be taking a trade or not. So look here, this push up, we've broken this here. Broken our buyer zone. Coming back towards, I'm going to take off this because I don't like it on permanently. So it's like, what would it be? When's our low? Well, we, like you asked before, Mark, well, we don't know yet. But what I do know is I can mark on that high, and I'm on that low of the candle, and I can keep that there, excluding my other zones. I can look at that and go, right, well, on the way up here, we knew we had this move. mark this on, it's going to drop some more, so that is going to change. But I can move with it. Big money sellers. And as this candle goes down, just drop it there and I can just, okay. We're still in line with this. Our trend wave's starting to go red. Our traffic lights are still green, by the way. Let's just be clear. Traffic lights are still green. So let's have a look on the way up. If that was a point and this was a point, because we knew this come back, then this would also be another buyer's area it could be breaking through. Here's our full sweep. All the way up. All the way up. So that over that whole move, let's look at how much, let's see whether this is, why is it red? Did it wrong, haven't I? There we go. Yeah, Johnny, I mentioned it a couple of times, but you must have missed me. The traffic lights you're looking at are your trend traffic lights. These are, the ones on my screen, are the big money traffic lights that I will give everyone access to today or tomorrow as soon as WAP gives me access. Otherwise, I'll send you a link. It will be going in your, for everyone who's paid, it will just go straight into your MaxAlgo Premium. You'll all get access, don't worry. But yes, these are not the same traffic lights. These traffic lights are built for big money. They look at different things, so please don't confuse the two.
All right, let's go. Let's see if we reverse out there now. Looking like we might.
You're on the lower time frame.
I'm on the 15 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say, you said let's go. I was like, there's nobody letting go here. We're on the 1 minute, Andrew.
We want to stay on the 1 minute, but there's a good chance that we might start that pullback.
Yeah, to be fair, I've been going through that sort of the fractal movement within that 1 minute,
Yeah.
especially on a move like this.
Well, this would be the first one, so we'd want to see that retest of the 1 minute zone. See it holding. Here we are now. Back in. They have given me some incredible entries. When we start getting this fractal change out of an area with traffic lights aligned. Some incredible trades. So it was really easy to see on 15 seconds we had a retracement held buyers.
Yep. So long.
See that little push up after hitting the green? The green zone.
Oh, this one.
Next one, yeah. See the low you've got.
Yeah, it's pushed up, tapped back in.
Then came back and then got up. So this is the 1 minute now. We want to see the 1 minute hold volume zones.
Let's see. No entry on the 1 minute yet. You're on 1. I'm on 2.
I'm on 2. Rude of you.
Bet you're not.
Apparently I am.
Where's your zone?
Somewhere different now. Hang on. I might have had the wrong place.
Oh, you mean you were on 1?
No, I'm definitely on 2. Yeah, I'm definitely using 2. Oh, I know why. It's because I did it on the 5-minute chart. There's less candles on the 5-minute, which adjusts where the zone is. And there's a good example where it's not just Fibonacci, otherwise they'd be exactly the same.
Well, they wouldn't change, would they?
No.
The impulse matters.
Yeah, I can mix that up a bit.
You are right, Pickles. We don't fuck with the queue.
No, you don't fuck with the queue.
Ugh.
Let's see whether we hold this little retest now.
This is where when you get in your sort of internal moves and you obviously you don't get a break here, to be fair, on the way up, so it's just a shame. However, when we were looking at the ones before where you do get those moves internally within it, like is a perfect example on the way down, where you're getting this up, down, up, down, up, down, that up, down, up, down. Those ones, on those internal ones, you can be looking at these smaller moves for your when it goes into a trend, and you know quite quickly, right, okay, we've got a massive move down here, little pullback, and again, so you know we're in a trend. Our big money traffic lights are all red as we're coming down. We can see that's the case. So at that point you can start to look at those more internal seller zones and see which ones are being held when you're getting a breakout of, to try and catch those tighter moves on the way down. Now, what that doesn't mean is that you always want to be looking at those internal moves overall. Like here, as we're talking right now, it's like, well, if you're going to get a bigger pullback, what zone would I expect to hold on a bigger pullback? I'd expect the full move to hold on a bigger pullback. If we're bullish, and I've just spotted what you spotted. Okay.
Away she goes.
Live.
Okay, look at the volume of that coming out there.
The revolution will be televised.
Shame it wasn't as clean coming out of it, but it doesn't matter.
The queue, I just put the Alpha Zones Pro on. That's all I did. And then I marked it off. Q levels in Alpha Zones Pro, which is just the zones. That is an absolutely wonderful rejection from exactly where we drew it on.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if on the lower time frame it gave a retest. It did on the lower time frame, on the 15-second, it gave a perfect retest. See here, you get that. That is what a perfect reversal looks like. You get up, one red candle, it wicks into the buy zone perfectly and immediately comes straight out. That is what, when the buyers come back in.
Yep.
And we did not do that here. We did not do it. On the 1 minute, we did not get it on the 1 minute.
Well, we didn't get the break. We didn't get the break on the 1 minute. The break came after it.
Yeah, fucking hell, it's absolutely correct. Which is what can happen, you know, at the end of the day, we're saying that this is where volume can kick in.
Has anyone took this? I'm chatting away.
We're getting a buy signal.
Right, remember. Buy signal is into the queue. See if it can close above. If you want to take that into account.
We've got those liquidity highs, we've got those important levels
there is a reason for price to go through, and it's closed above the queue. See if it gets through this big money seller zone.
Yeah. Expect a little bit of a retracement into it. See it hold it. Might just come deeper.
Well in time. Well in. I'm assuming that's not your name, but I've got nothing else to call you, so we'll go with that.
I was going to say, well in time.
Well, its name's Time 54827. So,
That's the time.
other than me just giving him a random name, that's all I can call him. Or her. Whoever it is. Mario. The picture's Mario. There we go.
Well in Mario.
Well in Mario.
Well in Mario.
It's a much better name.
Well in Mario.
So we are into the weekly.
Say a lot of the time, the first time you come back into that first zone, you get a little bit of
No? That's right.
Oh. Looks like you take something out of a pond.
It does look like pond water, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Much better for you than pond water, though.
Not sure about that.
I know you're not.
I mean, it looks a little bit better now.
Not really. That's like, that definitely looks like pond
It's
water
like
now.
lime juice.
Well, it is lime.
That's what it is.
My wife's electrolytes that she swears by, so.
Are they the ones that she has?
Yeah, they're not amazing, like, but they do the job.
Tastes like lime.
Lime pond water. Okay, so where's our next zone? Let's mark it up. So we had a pull down here. So it's rejected out of there, but that is definitely now. That is definitely a high. And there's our low. So we could get a push back into here. This is where we're starting to look for our buyers holding.
Overnight Asia. Previous day. So overnight highs. Asia. Previous day. Oh, previous day's miles
Just remember, by the way, it's also the zone it tapped in before. So if we look at this and go, okay, well, if we drop down, this is what Zoo was doing then. He's dropping down a time frame and saying, look, well, where's my, oh, even that move doesn't give you the entry, does it?
You don't know yet, though. What you don't know is if this is another comeback to go back down again to get into that zone.
No, it's just a shame, though.
Yeah.
Because there's just no fluctuation at all here.
No.
So it's just not an entry.
But then if you take the high to the current low, if we just tapped into that.
Yeah, we tapped into the new sellers, yeah. Yeah.
So let's see if we should plow through it.
Which really, if you go there to there. It's just brilliant. Even if you wanted a scalp.
Yeah, it's brilliant scalp.
I know we're building this on higher R, but realistically, if you wanted a scalp, you can scalp between areas beautifully.
We're just trying to trade with the money. Does the money want to send the market up? Does the money want to send the market down? Trying to follow it along.
Still fighting with our Q in it. Look at that.
It's the key. When we've watched that level.
It fancies it though.
Yeah, but at the same time, it could cause trouble. But if it wants to go through, there's a reason for price. It's got to go through. The market's going to send it through. It's just got to be careful. We have a golden candle on the 5-minute as well.
Right, so for those of you who were in the buy signal, less sweating.
That would be me. And that's me.
That'll be TP1. Get your W's in the chat.
Come on.
Well done, Zoo. Well done.
I have watched those buy signals all day after taking through the sellers and the buy signal printed above and the traffic lights in line absolutely fucking fly. I've watched them all day. All day. That was a good day. I've had a good day today. 500 across all accounts. Minimal risk as well.
Good day.
I think one of my trades was like $50 risk for.
Well in, Greg. Well in, mate. GG.
Let's go, let's hit them highs. Last TP. 440. See? Follow order flow. The new traffic lights on fire.
I love them.
So good.
I love that I'm waiting for, it's no indecision. Like when it's indecision, not trading it. Doesn't matter if there's wins in there, because as soon as they align and I tap into a box and winner, 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 wait for it to align, doesn't align, don't get an entry, don't get an entry. You could get, doesn't tap into an area there, to be fair. And then tap into an area, win. Tap into an area, win. Tap into an area, win.
Correct. So if we were to look at this retracement now, we could come quite a bit lower. But I'm not sure whether it will. Maybe
Mark that on. New big money buyers area there. Got a new high. Is this starting to make more sense to you guys? Saying that, I don't even know there's anyone still there. I'm joking, there is.
Yes,
We're winning.
exactly. I'll be celebrating in a room on my own.
Right, let's see, so we're coming back down. So we've got the whole move down here. We've got this partial move on the big move, sweep up on the way up, that impulse. And then this is probably the first most likely one for us to keep an eye on, which is currently tapping into. Wrong one, there we go. There's a nice little rejection.
Yeah, it's a beautiful previous 4-hour rejection as well. And this is where it can help with targets, alpha zones. You know, we look back, we've got a 4-hour from last night, what, 2200. We just
I've turned them off because it was playing with me important levels. See if we can get
have to expect a lower win rate as well, people.
been through that with them before.
Good.
Let's see. I want this one.
Just where the volume's going to kick in too soon. Looks like it probably might come back again. It's a bit messy on the lower time frame. It's a bit messy. Going lower. Didn't hold it on the 15 second. Didn't hold a single bullish zone on the 15 second. We whipped through it, whipped through it, whipped through it. We're still holding that zone.
It's not done yet.
Still bullish volume on the 5-minute. New 5-minute candle now. Doji candle on the 5-minute bullish volume. That current previous 1-minute candle low, the current low. I'd like to see that stay intact really now.
You had to say it, didn't you?
Let's see what it does. So we've just tapped the 15-second buy zone. Maybe we reject. Looks like we're going to go through. So it's a bit better. That's the 15-second.
Yeah. Nope. It's getting.
That's it. Bang. Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
It's got to close above that. It's got to close above that queue.
Let's go. Was it below the key?
Yep. Still squished in between there.
Yeah.
It's not done yet, buddy.
See if it holds this next pullback. Tell
Come on.
Telled it. Come on, it's going again.
Still smashing his face into the queue though.
Yes, it is, yes. One of them's going to win. And right now, on the lower time frame, for a moment, buyers adjusting control. Come on! Come on! Go, 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 go. Got a bigger zone above.
Oh, it still didn't close above.
No, it's losing. Buyers are losing. Not holding. Not held. Sell zone held. Large one. From above.
See where we are. Okay, here we go. Looks like sellers are taking control.
See what happens down here.
Is our previous zone? So this is gone. See if it's going to hold this area.
Doesn't look like it.
Ye of little faith. Your area is different to mine. Your area is definitely different to mine. What have you marked up?
Just on that swing.
What swing?
There to there.
Oh, you've done the whole thing. That's why. I've done the first. Come from here to here. It's lower. It's just tapping in that.
That's lazy, man. Could come back to this one at 200 though, the original.
Did you say mine's the lazy way?
Yeah. Could come back to this one at 200, you know.
Yeah, I've got it on.
Sometimes it likes to get to that 200, doesn't it?
It does like to get to the 200.
Get to fight with the wrong cue.
Bide our time, wait for the right zone, clean rejection out of the zone, break and up if we're getting one. That's all we're waiting for. Traffic lights are still green.
I want to see buyers take control.
So we're getting a rejection out of that area. How we doing, VM? We good? What's on my arm? Or is that the sunlight? Sunlight? Not that there's any of that around here.
No!
It's just dark. It's horrible.
I was about to say, I love the dark.
I know you do, you weirdo. Such a hobbit. Look at that rejection.
Pretty good.
Okay, I'm going in with that.
It's going to be like, what queue?
I'm pushing for...
Went straight through that.
What do we want to get? Asia high. Gives us just under 1R. A little bit less than 1R. My limit order was just the limit order. My stop order was just above the queue. Well, top of the queue. Come on. Besides law, I've watched it take 10 winning trades in a row,
I think you're fine, mate.
and the one I jump in on.
I think you're fine. Just a little retest, and then it's going to go on. Sure, you're fine. It doesn't even matter if you do lose,
I know.
but everything's alright. There's a reason for it to go up.
My traffic lights are still green, that's why I was like, I still fancy that.
I think you're going. I think it's going.
Let's keep marking up. Just need it to get through that, which is also our Q zone again. traders still in control here on the whole overall.
Struggling with that zone again. That sell zone and the Q. Sell zone and the Q.
Yep.
Well, I need to step in with one big.
Cheers, Greg. Nice to see you, buddy. Well done. Just takes time, but still got confidence in it.
This 5 minutes looking prime. Huge doji candle with bullish volume. Another bullish volume. Closes in 5 minutes. Looks like we're going to get a strong Heikin-Ashi 5-minute candle, which we have. So, boom. Get through. Go on.
Well done, Greg. Lovely post in the Discord. 3 wins. All out of the zones.
Well, Greg. Is he on or not?
He might have gone.
Tell you who's not left.
Who's not left?
The buyers.
Come on.
I'd say it out loud, didn't I?
I didn't want to say that, but you did. You had to open your mouth again, didn't you?
Oh, it's a bicycle.
Lovely buy signal. It's a good buy signal, guys. Not a good buy signal. That's actually not bad. I've heard some of the other nonsense you've tried. That was very good. Okay, so we get a little bit of pullback there. Let's just keep this marked up. It's still fighting with that seller zone. Pardon?
Easy deck.
What?
Ready to run.
Well, let's hope it's say straight up.
Straight up. Feels like he's going to do it. It's just going to be like a forced slam.
It's better. Come on.
Durex candle. Go. Come on. Come on. Not seeing volume yet on the 5 minute on this candle. And there's 15 seconds to go. Even though we've pushed up, hasn't been big volume on it. Which is interesting. Boom, TP. Yes.
It's New York high. Into your golden zone.
Let's go up with W's.
Passed an eval on this one. Get in, Dean. Yes.
G.
Get your W's in the chat, guys.
Well done.
Made up with that, Dean. Well done, mate.
So, who thinks, now you're looking at it this way, that actually it feels a little bit cleaner and less confusing?
Well, I know I do.
Surely you give it 1 up.
Yeah, I was done it. I put it in New York high. I'm out.
Yeah.
Wasn't pissing around with New York high.
No. I just into the golden zones. Okay. Again, another one of those buy signals as it's breaking through that first settle zone that it struggled with. Exact same trade as before.
As we get. Well in, Mario. W. GG, mate. Well done. Rejection off New York high.
It was a big rejection.
Right, so let's mark it up. There from that, or from the whole move, it's down here. I think I liked it because when I can do the whole and the part, it's kind of like if it's breaking the internal one, that's fine, but I'm still bullish, still waiting. But if I do get the rejection and the break candle, then I know at least it's a reason why I've got it there.
Yeah. I mean, we've had this sustained move up now. If you look kind of like we've been really corrective on the 5 minute, up, down, up, down, up, down. Like it's been very not sustained.
The markets are a little unsure anyway.
But luckily for the 1 minute, it's been pretty good. Pullback territory.
Yep.
But at some point, we expect a big pullback.
massive queue gap.
Yeah. When you get one sometimes that big, like very often it might not fill it today.
Take a few days to get back down. Or back up, sorry.
Yeah. Well done.
Oh no. He's done me like a kipper. Ah, Dreams has done me.
Just open the door.
Done me like a kipper.
He has. Well done, James.
Well done, Amrit. Well done, mate. Done me like a kipper.
You even put my face on it.
That's funny, that. That's very funny.
Oh, okay. To get that close to those highs and not take them.
But it took New York.
Yeah. But I mean,
It's not took Asia high.
yeah, all overnight highs. So it's interesting.
Could absolutely plummet then.
Yeah. Still nothing yet to say structure-wise, but 1:30 minute. What a day! Come all the way down and then retrace the exact.
It's pretty, as I say, it's pretty much back at the open though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a day. Crazy that. Right. Time to sit on those fingers, I think.
Yeah, guys, be back on tomorrow. I'm gonna call it a day. Take our wins.
Yeah.
Live to fight another day.
Be careful.
Just be conscious of the fact that it missed this. Look for your big money zones. I'm gonna keep them marked on. They're my ones that are still yet to be violated. All on the way up.
I'll tell you who has been
No. Leave my mother out of this. You're welcome, Dean. Thanks, guys. I will speak to you all tomorrow. I will be back on tomorrow. Have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of the session. If you're taking trades, do be careful. If you're trading big money, just stick to the rules. As I said, nice and simple. Wait for an area, look for rejection, make sure your traffic lights are in line, wait for a signal. Simple as that. I will see you